Alright lads, today I'm going to be talking about the Hungarian BF-109 G2. It's recently been added to the game again. It used to be in the German tech tree, but now they've added it to the Italian tech tree. Now the reason they've added it again, not only is it because of the huge public outcry for it, it's also because it's the national Hungarian holiday, Saint Istvan's Day. I apologise if I'm mispronouncing that. So it went on sale on the 20th of August. They haven't currently said if they're going to remove it after the holiday's finished. I assume they won't know because this will be a massive money maker for Guardian. So we'll have a look at the actual poem. So it's a rank 3, battle rating 4.3 Italian tree. It's essentially the BF-109 G2. Notice it's just G2 though. It isn't G2 Trop like we see in the German tech tree. The difference between the G2 Trop and the normal G2 is that in the Mediterranean, where Germany was fighting for the first half of World War II, they basically had to turn down their engines a little bit to prevent them overheating in the much hotter climate. And basically the G2 Trop, same as the F4 Trop, they basically install a filter which it basically reduces your engine power in some way. I'm not a mechanic. You could look into that if you did want further information. But for all intents and purposes, the G2 is exactly the same as the German G2, apart from it has more engine power. It doesn't state that on the actual stat cards, but it's just slightly better than the G2. And this was hugely popular back in the day. So the price of this, I don't know it exactly because I bought it and didn't note it down, but it was about 4,900 silver golden eagles, which as you can see is about €25, and if you convert that into British pounds, that's about 22 British pounds sterling. So what do you get for that money? Well, not only do you get a great plane, you also get 426% RP booster, as well as a 570 silver line booster. So that's pretty good for grinding. It's pretty good for money making as well. I think this might be my new money making premium. Used to be the G55S. I think I might stick with this because I really do like the early BF-109s. And many people say the G2 is the epitome, or it's the strongest BF-109 compared to its battle rating in the game. So what do you get access to with this plane? Like the other G2s, you get access to either 4 50kg bombs, a singular 250 kilo, or you have 2 additional gun pods under the wing. Now, these gun pods, we'll just convert back to that. These gun pods give this plane a lot of flexibility. When you have the gun pods installed, you can act as like a regular fighter. You're more of a boom and zoomer though when you have these gun pods on, because you obviously make the plane heavier. It's slower to climb and adds to the turn time. But like me, I tend to fly it without gun pods and just use it as a pure energy fighter. So after that little overview, we're going to go into a game. This is the very first game I've played in this bloody hell. It's the very first game I've played in this. Played it about 10 minutes ago, so it's still in good memory. So we're here on Bulge. It's a full up tier to 5.3. Obviously this plane's a 4.3. And we've just had the introduction of the new event vehicle for Operation Heat, the P-59 jet. So that's been spammed out at the minute, so we're going to go up against the jet as our first ever target in this plane. But as you can see, we've climbed at about an 18-degree climb, intermittently going on and off wet. You don't want to burn out your engine. It does have like, if you keep your plane in wet all the time, it will overheat and it will be very hard after 10 or so minutes in wet to actually cool your engine down. But we've climbed, we've got above the enemy, and we're in a little bit of a dive now. We were talking in chat there, so I was a bit unaware. But he's just done about a 90-degree turn and he's bled off all his speed, so we're catching him pretty quick. And this new American jet is very good at turning, but it's got bad energy retention. And it's got very poor vertical energy retention. So we're just going to go straight into a little climb here. If he followed us, he probably would have been able to get guns on for a little bit. But he's decided to disengage. It's not going to go well for him. He just did a 180-degree turn on himself. He just bled off all his speed. Now he's turning back in again. I am only using the single 20mm in the nose here, not the 2 gun pods. You see there, he turned inside of me. You don't want to turn with a BF-109. Instead, you want to conserve your energy by going into verticals. He tried to follow me in the vertical here, and you can see he's just bled off all of his energy. So he's at my mercy now, really. He doesn't have any speed to maneuver. I'm going to miss my initial shots, but then we pilot snipe him. So our first kill was on a complete full up tier, as well as a jet. It's pretty good. From what I can tell, as I'm putting in chat there, if you want to fight this new American jet, then just fight it in the vertical. It's got really bad energy retention in the vertical. It's got really bad energy retention just when it turns. It's got very weak engines, so it can get up to high speeds. It does take a while to get there, but once you start manoeuvring in it, it just bleeds it off. You can't really get it back. It's kind of like the R2Y2 at 5.3 really. But here we can see we've got Elon Musk. Quite a funny name. It's giving our P-47 a little bit of trouble. Now this P-47 is going to make it hard for me to get a shot on this target because he keeps on turning. Obviously I'm not going to turn in a BF-109, neither should you. We miss our shots here. Don't follow them in the turn, you just end up bleeding your speed. Instead, go up, conserve your energy. Teammates can't really expect you to throw away your life to save them. And our second kill is on a full up tier as well. Now, good job that P-47. Well, he did die, but he did a good job at being evasive. His luck ran out in the end, but as you can see, we've got a Spitfire behind us. Now, the advantages that this BF-109 has, it's energy retention and speed. So we go into a vertical, get our speed back, or get our energy back. Now we're going into a sheer dive, as you can see. Now instead of going head on with him, or trying to fight him, we're going to do some manoeuvring. Spitfires have got very bad energy retention in verticals. They're very good turners in a horizontal, but they're not very good at verticals. Now if me and that Spitfire were doing this at the same energy level, say we both had the same speed and altitude, he probably would have won, because he would have been able to hang longer than me. But because I had so much speed coming out of that little dive, I was able to get right on top of him. Now I do manage to get a crit into his wing here. And what's about to happen is completely my fault. I had a bit sloppy aim here, but... So we don't get the kill here. And instead one of our friendlies decides to ram him, which denies me both an assist and the kill. So if that friendly would have killed him there, I'd have still have got an assist, but because he rammed him, I don't get anything. It's a bit annoying. Stuff like that does annoy me, because I did everything right in that engagement, and then someone just comes along and sloppily just smashes into him. Now, we're not going to survive for the whole of this game, but we do still win it. So we've got a P-51 coming in. Now that's a D-30. You shouldn't really be fighting this plane. It's another issue with Gaijin's matchmaker at the minute. There's no way a D-30 should be fighting a G2. So much speed. So we go evasive initially. That D-30 could follow us, but he bleed all his speed. Decided to go for this Spitfire. Managed to get him. Pretty easy. People that say that you need more than one nose-mounted 20 to get kills in this plane are wrong, I think. But we eventually do get shot down. I don't think that's a bad result. 3 kills in a complete up tier for first ever game. All you really need is basic understanding of how BF-109s are flown. But do I recommend getting this plane? if you like BF-109s, then definitely, it's a great money maker. It's basically taking a G2 trop, which many people say the G2 trop in the German tech tree is probably the best BF-109 in the game, tier for tier that is. So when you have the G2, it's even better than the G2 trop, just slightly, as well as you get the premium boosters, such as the RP and Silverline credits. It is for the Italian tech tree, so if you've already grinded it out, then it's probably not really useful for grinding, obviously. But I think this plane would be amazing for making some silver lines. So that was a quick little overview, just literally a day after it was released. Hope you got something out of this video, and I'll see you later, lads.